What up? What up? What up, everybody? This is a special Thursday game. The Thursday night Club Swiss is back. Ben, Justin, and I are bringing it back on in. I'm going to be able to play every other week. And today was the kickoff of the new ladder. You could say the 2026 ladder. We had 8 people total show up, which is all right. You know, Ben and I are getting our taste of tournament directing. Justin is kind of ringleading us, kind of showing us the ropes. And we paired off. My idea is we had everyone by rating, and I let the lowest person pick. They picked the person right above them. Then the next person picked the right person above them. Then I was the next person, and I picked Ben because the other 2 people wanted a 45-minute game, and I wanted a 90-minute game. So Ben, who we've chatted a ton, super nice guy, he said he's going to watch this as well, but we've never actually played before. So I've seen some of his games, he's kind of seen some of mine, I know he's watched some of my videos and whatnot, but this was the first time we actually clashed, and oh boy, do I have a doozy for you guys. So the way I want to set the table for this game as well is this is not a tournament game in the sense that you're really building. Technically, it's the year-long ladder, but because I'm only going to play, every other week, I don't even know what our prizes are going to be for winning the ladder. Really only it's a rated game. Kind of gets thrown into the blender. If you guys remember my early videos, I played in 2 other club nights. One time I did 90, the other time I did the 245s. Let's just get into it. The metagame aspect is that Ben and I chatted a bunch, and he's told me, he's shown me his openings a bit, and he's a C4 player. Now, why is that special? C4 is the 4th most common move of the main moves in chess. It is one of the, it's one of the main moves that very strong players still play. Obviously, E4 is the most popular, followed very closely by D4. Knight F3 and C4 are less popular, but still, I think at the very top levels, I think they're about 1 in 10 or so. And then you get the super niche openings that honestly everything else is almost never played at the very very high levels, and even mid master levels. They just kind of do away with the other openings. Whatever. That's my opening rant. The point is, this is my 80th game of Classical, and I have only faced C4 one other time, and that was actually against my buddy Zane, and we very quickly transposed to a D4 opening, and that happens a lot with C4. So, before this game, I'd been slowly working on my repertoire against C4, thinking that I haven't really needed it, but knowing eventually I'll have to whip it out against Ben. My whole policy, by the way, I was half bluffing, where I knew that I was getting ready, I was prepping. You guys see on the screen, it's called the Danish Gambit. It's not a great defense, but it's very rare and it's playable. So my whole philosophy with a lot of opening stuff has been, if somebody has bread and butter, I want to get them off book onto my own bread and butter. Even if it means it's a slightly worse opening, as long as I'm familiar with the position and I'm comfortable and I know the ideas, that'll be an opening win for me. And as you guys are about to see, I think that did occur in this Danish Gambit line. So what I mean I was half bluffing is that the way I've trained openings, I kind of done a lead chess study, and then I write a flashcard or whatever. And because C4 is so unpopular, I've only faced that one other time months ago, I haven't really been able to drill it. Furthermore, online, I play a fair amount of Blitz and Bullet, although I think I noted in my last video, the last week and a half, I've really just been playing Slay the Spire 2, so I actually haven't really been playing much chess. But very few people play C4. So at the lower levels, the non-master, I think in Lee chess, and I'm 2,000 plus, but it still only occurs one every 20 or 22 games or so. So I play a lot of games, but I'm not playing 50 games a day, where I'm going to be playing against C4 once a day. So the point is, I have a little bit of experience with the Danish, but not a ton. I haven't been able to drill a lot. So that's what I mean where Ben played C4. And by the way, we did the whole random. I put the pawns behind my back. He happened to pick white, and it was game on. We're like, all right, this is happening. So Ben blasts off, and that's the whole meta aspect. Basically, I knew that I was going to play this. I've been playing this a little bit online. I know it's not great, but there are a lot of tricks in the position, and there are ways to kind of make it work. So, we'll see. It's, again, my opening philosophy, I think so far it's served me well. Oh, also, if those of you who watch my videos saw the opening of my Tuesday night tournament, I really bungled that game. So I really, really, really wanted to play well and redeem myself kind of show myself that I don't actually suck at chess. I might suck at chess, but I was really gonna play the best I can. Anyway, so that's quite the build-up. 5 minutes, and now we're finally getting to the first move of the game. Ben plays c4 as expected, and I played the move b5. After the game, because Ben plays c4 every single game, he said he has seen this move like before, but he's never looked at it, he's never studied, and again, that's exactly what I want. I want a position where I know he's a c4 player, he knows his lines like the symmetrical English, transposition to different, Queen's Gambit. Like, those are the typical positions, reverse Sicilian, that you're going to get with c4. And I don't know those, again, because I don't play c4 myself, and because people play so infrequently against me online with c4. So anyway, the right move is to take. Ben does take. For the record, again, it's also kind of like a semi-bluff or a half-bluff where, in my notes, if they don't take the pawn, black is already immediately equal. So I don't really, explore those lines much further. So I'm kind of at, if they do something ridiculous, not ridiculous, but if they play like this move, which is still fine, like they're playing a symmetrical English, I know I can take it. Actually against that move specifically, the right move is actually to push b4. Kind of play it like Benoni style, just start bumping their knight around. But if they do another random move, then rather than this, then you take. Anyway, that's all irrelevant. I'm getting off the deep end. The point is, Ben half accepts. Now, the gambit itself is to play a6. You're kind of giving up your flank pawns, known as the Janish gambit. Janish was a German player many years ago. There's a few lines that bear his name, by the way. And the truth is, white should take this pawn. Ben half hedges. He plays knight c3. This has been my... I think I told you guys, those that watch a lot, I've been playing the Benko gambit a little bit. And that's been my experience with a lot of these gambits, where people are okay taking the first one, but nobody sacks up and takes the second. And the truth is, they really should in the Janish. The position that I've studied and what I know is when you arrive at this position. And it's I'll turn on the engine just so you guys can see. You're down these pawns, which looks bad. And it's plus 0.8, so white has or plus 0.6, looking at the valuation bar on the left hand side. So it's obviously not great for black, and we're only a couple moves in, but they've built on their opening advantage. But the point is, this is where I know all my theory. Unfortunately, Ben plays knight c3, and it's interesting because I know if they don't take, if they instead play this, I know this position really well. And I know this position really well, but I don't really know this position really well. And the reason why is I just haven't spent that much time in the Janish. I did start a study, and I put in a tiny bit of work, but really just a little bit. So in my mind, I was okay, this is going to be used against Ben, but who else is going to be playing c4 against me? So that's what I mean. Anyway, you guys certainly don't want to hear my study tendencies in openings. Let's just continue on with the game. And actually, Ben was kind of blitzing. I told him after the game I was really surprised that he was moving so damn quickly because, he didn't really know the opening that well. Anyway, A takes is correct. I'm just trying to piffer on through. He plays knight takes, which is a good move. Otherwise, he probably would push it, maybe defend it. Again, I'm not actually sure what the right theory is as far as holding the pawn. The key is you really want to use these diagonals. Again, Benko style. The reason why I meant... Oh, God, arrows are really hard to draw. The reason why I mentioned the Benko, I even didn't draw that one correctly, there we go, is that in the Benko gambit, for those of you that know, you can either get it through a Benoni defense or through a King's Indian. You basically are willing to sack a pawn to get open A and B files, and you are going to bring this rook all the way here, and you have a ton of activity for a pawn. The Benko gambit is good for black. The Janish gambit here, where we're arriving in a similar position, is not good for black. But again, that's the whole concepts of a plan. Nonetheless, I don't know if this move is best, but it's kind of again getting me to theory. Okay, it looks like I saw bishop. Okay, cool. Bishop a6. Yeah, it's one of the right moves. And I do know that knight f6 is the natural developing move. You guys will see me play that very quickly. So I kind of was just going based on where I think my pieces belong. Ben plays g3. His idea is to quick fianchetto. Believe it or not, there's a wild line that I did look at. Not enough to know it well, so that's why I didn't go into it, where you actually move your bishop again. You bring it to b7, preventing them from fianchettoing. They have to bring their knight out. And Ben said that he actually had a funny. He said he had a funny move. Like once we go here, excuse me, he was not going to do that. He was going to play this move, I think. Something. No, not here. Well, this is the position. This is where you can bring it back. I guess it's a little bit further forward. All right, anyway, I play e6. The reason why, just so you guys can tell, is I'm trying to play on the light squares where I get d5, and I basically have a big center. His bishop, ideally, is going to churn into concrete, granite, and I'm going to basically get a lot of tempi, making him bounce all his pieces back, and I'm just going to get my fast development where, again, I have all these crazy diagonals. Did I already mess up? I did. I played, no wonder. None of this happened on this move. And the reason why I was looking at this is the position where bishop b7 is a move. Instead, let's go to that new analysis. It's a good thing we didn't miss out on much. Instead, when we arrived, and I'll fix all that up in a moment. Let's go c4, Janish time, takes. Offer another pawn? No. I take, he takes, develop the bishop, tempo, is because he plays this move, queen b3, that's right. And this looks like a funky-ass move, and I'm going to be honest, I wasn't sure what to make of it. Black is almost already, equalized, because this is, it's an inaccuracy. It's a peculiar move. Obviously, I don't know when I want to play c6. I wasn't sure. I know that knight f6 is kind of like where you always want your piece. It looks like it is the best move. So, okay, now that we've gotten back to the actual game, this is where I play knight f6. Now he plays g3. Right, he had to defend the knight first. We both thought that after this position, he should probably just move back like this. And again, I know the theory here, so I would have been happy with that. And again, it kind of shows the power of the opening. I would be ahead in development. I'm going to get my pieces out really, really quickly. Anyway, after g3, he's trying to fianchetto. This is where I play e6. And I knew that this is not the right line here because the queen is bearing down. So it's not when the queen's on b3. So I didn't go into this, obviously. But this is where he wanted to play this kind of clever move. Because if I take, he then takes. And honestly, this is actually problematic. Maybe. There's also some lines where this queen might be out of play, maybe even getting trapped. But that's what we were talking about after the game. Nonetheless, I play e6, and the reason why is when he fianchettos, now I can play d5, and I have a bigger center than my opponent, while kind of making him bite on concrete. So there we go. That's the terminology, and that's kind of what's happened. So Ben plays bishop g2. I get d5 off. I know this is a very important move. At the right time, I want to play c5. I want to get this rook over here, try to visualize it. Again, Ben is blitzing. And around here is where my theory kind of ends. So I'm still moving fast through move 8, for the record. So, okay, one more move, I'm moving pretty fast. d5, he plays the best move, which I think surely must be d3. Is that a D in my notes? It is a D. My handwriting is terrible. Here he's trying to shut down the diagonal so he can retreat the knight. Obviously, I don't want to trade the knight. The bishop is more valuable than the knight. It also comes with check, and if I do different things, we just trade. I don't know. It's probably still fine for me. Anyway, Ben plays bishop c5 here. He's just continuing to. No, he didn't. Excuse me. I did. Yes, my last developing move, and this is where I thought for 10 minutes. So here we go. On move, right, after move 7, on move 8. Okay, so here we go. So now the real game begins. I know that in the Janish, you don't actually, if you have nothing going immediately, there's a few bad moves they can make where you have some tactics. He hasn't played bad moves, although this queen b3 was awkward. You actually just castle, and you just play it positionally, which is funny, because although white is up +1, you are using the long-term open files to regain the pawn. So that's kind of the concept of the gambit. It's not like where they're going to be, lose a piece early or some ridiculous England gambit type stuff. So the reason I did a long think is I know that the idea is I want to castle at some point. If I ever play c6, it doesn't really accomplish much. I think it helps him retreat his knight to c3, which I think it belongs on c3 anyway. At the moment, my bishop is preing it, and it's kind of tying down his queen. So I didn't want to force him into a better move. For example, I could always play, if I want, queen d7, hitting the knight, but then he just retreats it, and I don't really think I'm accomplishing much. So for candidate moves, I was looking at knight d7. It kind of connects the knights. I also think that maybe I'm threatening a jump to c5. Again, trying to dislodge this queen. I was thinking of the passive bishop e7. Again, just kind of locking everything down. Maybe in the future playing down this diagonal. And I was also looking at bishop c5. And I know I want this diagonal with this dark square bishop. Like, that's where it is ideally. But believe it or not, I was worried about bishop c5, d4. And I thought if I go takes, he can actually go takes. And I thought that I'm worse there. I really don't want to give up the bishop pair that easily in this spot. But I then saw bishop c5, d4, and I thought I could retreat to b6, and I'd have long-term pressure, because if he's opening up this diagonal to shut down my dark square bishop, my light square bishop becomes really, really active and really, really powerful. Certainly you guys can see some other tactics here, but I was thinking with bishop c5, I'm also threatening some like knight g4 ideas to target the f-pawn. And I still always have this like queen d7 or possibly, the pawn at the right time. So anyway, those are my candidate moves. I finally sack up. I play bishop c5. For the record, I consider this move. I consider this move. I consider this move. And in this position, I even considered knight c6 with the idea of going to b5. I'm going to turn on the computer because I'm actually curious. Again, I spent 10 minutes. This is where I was out of book, and I wasn't sure the best move. And it looks like the best move is not one I did consider c6. And it looks like c6 is the best move. And yeah, you can tell, like, white is slightly better. Like, we're still kind of in the opening. Ben has not pounced on the gambit. My position's pretty comfortable. Oh, they do like queen d7 here. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I thought if I go queen d7, he just plays back knight c3, and the position's, like, fine. You know what I mean? Is my move a bad move? No, it's not a bad move. Bishop c5 is reasonable, but just not the most accurate move. The reason why interesting is because he should actually play knight f3. Okay, he should just get his pieces involved. I was a little bit concerned about d4, and it does look like it's one of the better candidate moves for my opponent. All right. In any way, I don't want to belabor the point. I just want to highlight situations where I did think for a while. This was my first time out of book. I did spend 10 minutes in that position, so it's nice to kind of work through the thought process. Ben does play the best move. Not surprisingly, he's just developing his pieces. He's not worried about knight g4 because he can just castle. And I don't think that's great for me. I think if I should do something very active, proactive, reactive, well, obviously this wouldn't be reactive, and I say, screw it, let's just castle. Ben shrugs, he's like, all right, castle. And the truth is, in this position, white is, we're out of the opening, we're 10 moves in. This is now the early middle game. People's pieces have been developed. My knight on b8 is undeveloped, and the dark square bishop is undeveloped. More about this in a moment. I'm down a pawn, but it's not an important pawn, and I do have some compensation. The compensation comes in the line of these very strong bishops and the open A and B files with a misplaced queen. Here, right about here, after he castles, I was doing some noticing style. And what I was noticing is that this rook is pinned, and actually this pawn is pinned, because the bishop is dislodging the two rooks. So I noticed that. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So basically, if I'm able to, how do you say, get him to lash forward with this pawn, he won't be able to take anything. It will be a fake defender because this rook is actually bearing down on it. So that was one thing I was noticing. Another thing I was noticing is that, Benko, you want to get the rooks here, so I probably, in like the ideal sense, wanted to get my queen to d7, and I was like calculating, I was like, all right, queen d7, knight c2, and I was thinking, all right, rook b8, and that looked really comfortable to me. I was like, that seems pretty good. But then I realized, wait, my knight is here, I need to move it first. So then I started thinking, okay, where does my knight belong? And I thought, well, if I move it to d7, it blocks in my queen, and I have an awkward time developing her, and then I can't swing my rook to where it really belongs. So then I said, wait, is it crazy to play knight c6? And I thought to myself, well, it looks kind of weird, because tactically, it puts two pieces, skewering them, skizzer style, and I wondered if that was good. First of all, I also was looking at jumps like to a5 for a brief threat. Again, if I can dislodge the queen from the protection of the knight, I would pick up the knight for free. Not that Ben would allow that. But again, with the idea of if I jump and then I jump, where he thinks he's defending the knight with the pawn, he's not really, because then I could take with bishop. This is in these lines where the queen moves away, and then after a pawn takes, Ben would lose the rook. So that's kind of what I'm noticing from a tactical perspective. So and I also know where I want my pieces. So I thought that actually I need to play knight c6. So in this position, pretty proud of myself actually. I spent another 5 minutes, and the reason why is I do some pretty cool calculations. Okay. I calculate knight c6. Okay. Now I'm also kind of bearing down, trying to own the d4 square. I think it's important. But if he does have either of these two moves, and by the way, I think queen c2 is better. Because then it gives a retreat square to the knight. But I saw knight c6, queen c2, rook takes, king or rook, I wasn't sure. The king takes gives me a check, and I wasn't sure if that was good. And obviously with the queen dislodged, then I would take bishop takes knight, and my bishop, again, if you're following along, is defending the knight. In all those lines, at first I ruled it out because I then thought to myself, oh shit, a4 attacks the bishop here. But then I said, wait, it doesn't work. He can't actually take because then the rook hangs. And I said, well, what did I do in that position? Well, I can just move this knight. I pointed this out to Ben to e7 square, and I would have accomplished everything. I mean, trading this f pawn for the b pawn is like a massive win. Anyway, I'm just proud of myself because I did spot this stuff. I was thinking, I was churning, I was gurning, and I played it. So I played knight c6. Ben snap moves. He actually no, this is the first thing of Ben's actually. Looks like I wrote down he spent 8 minutes in this position, and Ben does play queen c2. And when he was thinking, I got worried that I miscalculated. Also, spoiler, because our game ran so long. This is a long one, fellas. On the T on the way back, I actually did look at this one on the computer. Most of my recaps, as you guys know, I have not looked at the computer. This one I very briefly did. And the truth is, the computer... Oh, good. They like my move best. Oh, beautiful. I wonder if I... Yeah, the computer, and I recognize this actually after when I was going home, basically, is in this position, he doesn't have to play queen c2. My move is bad, not because of the tactical reason, and again, that's what I was prepped against, but because he just should have just said, all right, whatever, fuck it, I'm just gonna get my my bishop, my dark square in the game finally, thereby no longer having this like weird ass pin, and the fact that he'd be attacking the c pawn with two pieces. So that's what he should have done. Then I probably would have to block. We trade, and I would just be worse there. But that's not what happens. He plays queen c2. And I think Ben thought that he was like winning material. And I say, I don't think so. I go bishop takes f2. By the way, I thought I was better here. If you looked at the computer, it's still like plus 0.5. But I thought that this f pawn is really important. So I'm actually surprised the computer still likes Ben's position a little bit more. But whatever. All right, bishop takes on f2. I was proud of that. He goes rook takes. I move rather quickly. I obviously take this piece. I need my material back. And this is where, it's like everything is kind of held by a thread, and Ben infiltrates with the queen to c5. Now, it looks like he's attacking both pieces. And this is where I was like, okay, like, I did another 7-minute think. And unfortunately, I missed the best move, guys. So try to think about this position for a minute. What is the best move here? And it's a good one. It's what I missed. So I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The computer wants you to offer the queens off because this bishop's not actually hanging. If queen takes, you actually go rook b8 and the queen is trapped. And they lose the queen for the rook and the bishop, and black is much better. I didn't see that. And that's a huge reason, like, again, I don't have enough experience in the Benko stuff, where people, when they kind of start infiltrating with their queen, often wind up with lost queens. I was calculating between knight a7 and queen b8. For the record, so queen d6 is the right move. Just offer the trade there. And it looks like I played the second best move, which is still decent. And okay, good. I'm glad. I finally, after my think, I ruled out knight a7 because I thought it then prevented my plan. Where if he pushes, my rook is no longer exposing the fact that his rook is disconnected. And his rook is not even connected because it's now on the second row. Whereas I thought if my queen was here, I still have the same exact threats. And whenever he develops his bishop, there's a lot of lines where my queen is bearing down on like a free juicer, a free pawn. So I play queen b8. I thought this was a good move. He doesn't have anything here. His queen's offsides. Just so you guys can see. Move here, and you go here. Rook fb8. And look, the queen literally has nowhere to go. This is taken away. This is obviously taken away. These are all taken away. This is taken away. So he'd have to sack the queen for the rook. And in this position, had I gone into this, I didn't even see this. It's like minus 2.7. Yeah, Ben would lose his queen with that the game. And that's what I mean. There are tricks in this position. You know, if he thinks that he can take the piece, he can't. But I didn't see it. I did spend a while there, so I really actually should have been more practically looking for queen traps. And the reason why in this position is I think he's supposed to just trade. If you go takes, now suddenly you actually have a pretty strong center. This bishop is not that much of a worry, and you're going to move your rook into the c file. You're going to own it. And honestly, white is a bit tied up. I think the computer evaluates this as fairly equal, but it's a position I definitely would have gone into. Anyway, once I go queen b8, Ben plays bishop g5. And I thought at the board this was a bad move. Why did I think it was a bad move? Well, I mean, it's not actually a bad move. Okay, it is an inaccuracy. He should have just played b3 to try to fianchetto and play on the long diagonal, which, by the way, I did think was best. Yeah, basically... Oh, wow. The computer, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw, wanted to play queen b6, which briefly I considered, but I didn't like it because of takes, and I thought my pawns would be a bit weaker in the endgame. But apparently it's actually fine for me. So the whole time I was calculating between knight g4 and knight d7. Ben said afterward that he was hoping I would play knight g4. It looks like I didn't spend a ton of time in this position. Okay, I spent another 7 minutes. I was a lot lower than Ben on time. He's told me, and apparently he's like he plays slowly, but he was up on clock for the majority of this game, basically the entire game actually. So I don't know. You know, it is what it is. The reason why I outruled knight g4 is obviously you have an immediate threat where it's a one-move threat. You're attacking the rook, but I thought his rook wanted to be on f1. Like he wants his rooks to be connected. So I didn't think kind of like letting him reset the rook to the right square was good unless I have follow-up. And obviously I have this insane square on e3, but his dark square bishop is still alive, so I'm not actually going anywhere there. I did think I could jump to g4 and then own e5, and on e5 the knight's doing a lot. But I thought to myself, why would I help him move his piece when I can just play knight d7, and then once he moves his queen, wherever, I can still go to e5, and he has this problem of this rook really misplaced, where ideally I'm going to be able to hopefully make use of the fact that he doesn't have an f-pawn. So, yeah, so I play knight d7. I thought this was the best move. Again, according to the computer, queen b6 is a little bit better. I looked at that very briefly, but, you know, c'est la vie is what you say. Then, again, Blitzen goes queen c2. Boom. He falls back. And this move I blitzed, and I don't think it's the best move, but I just wanted the bishop out of my face, and I play here. Now, Ben should have played to e3, and I kind of realized this. In fact, when he didn't, I realized I made a mistake by letting him get there. In retrospect, I think I should have gone queen b6 first. You know, again, I have this pin, playing the diagonal, and then h6, so he can't go to e3. So actually, and I did blitz h6 because I was a bit down on the clock. I felt like it was kind of an obvious move, and it wasn't. And I wanted to play a few moves quickly. Instead, Ben goes all the way back to d2. And now he actually gives me queen b6, and I'm not going to miss it 2 moves in a row. So now I take the diagonal. And as you guys can tell, positionally speaking, I've gotten the material back after I Desperado'd won the f-pawn. My pieces are very active, and I think his pawns are... oops. Oh, he does play e3. Oh, what do you know? Huh. Oh boy, I'm thrilled. I accidentally entered a move, and it ended up being the right move for what he played. What a relief. Anyway, once I play queen b6, oh wow, apparently in this position, the computer likes knight e7. I don't know why. And they like rook c8. I'm going to be moving rook c8 soon. I basically want to line up on the queen. Do they not like my move? I thought queen b6 was good. The computer gives it an okay. Like, it's not like it's a bad move, but it's not the best move. All right, well, whatever. Silly computers. Tricks are for kids. In this position, Ben played e3 because he said he wanted to break the pin. And it makes sense because it's very challenging for him to get the rook back into the game. If he moves to like f1, he's blocking it in anyway. But it felt so weakening. It felt wrong to me. But nonetheless, that happens. And now I basically go into the tank again. Well, actually, no. I only spent a couple minutes on this move, so not the big tank. I play knight c to e5. This one. What I'm looking at here. So the tactics. Okay, the d pawn is really weak. My bishop is gizzering it. The e pawn's really weak. He only has the bishop defending. Right now, the queen is defending the pawn. So I think to myself, all right, how can I attack it? And I say, all right, well, if I go knight over here, he trades, and I end up with a knight on e5 where it's a powerhouse, that knight is controlling different checks. Obviously, at the moment, it's taken away by the light square bishop. And I'm applying pressure to d3. Furthermore, if I move this knight, this pawn I wanted to get rolling. Maybe it was wrong, but I thought that was the only weak pawn in my position. If I could start pushing it, then that's exactly the situation I want. I get the rooks on the open file, I seal off his light square bish, and I have all the plays with an active knight. So I just kind of shrug. I'm like, yeah, this has got to be good. I play knight c e5. Ben takes 5 minutes. He kind of shrugs, takes. I take, and he has to spend another 6 minutes. And in fairness, I didn't see this next move. I should have. I don't know why I didn't see it. I thought it was a very good move. I can tell you why I didn't see the move. Why? Okay, it's not actually the best move according to the computer. In fact, black is already quite a bit better. I thought he had to play d4, and actually it's the best move. I wanted him to play d4 because then I thought I'm getting this monster. It's a monster c4 square. He actually plays bishop f1, supporting the pawn. I didn't see this at all. Just so you guys can tell, and this actually is the best move according to the computer, d4. I thought, okay, they say, wow. Computer says knight d3 is the best move. Ben and I are both saying, Ben said he wanted me to play knight d3, but I said it was a one-move threat. It doesn't do anything. According to the computer, this is the best move, which is crazy. And then what happens here after... Because I thought this piece was getting trapped. After rook back... Apparently I'm supposed to just... Oh... Did you guys see this? I'm supposed to have dropped the bishop so that I'm attacking this pawn. He doesn't have an easy way of picking up the... Oh, interesting. He doesn't have an easy way of picking up the piece, and now I'm also lasering his rook. Okay, I didn't see that far. I thought I couldn't jump in there. For the record, the reason why I was calculating d4 is I thought I wanted to go here to c4, and it's not as good, but this is what I wanted. Yeah, this is apparently the accuracy. And I thought here it's an insane outpost where I'm basically always bearing down on this backwards e-pawn. I have these diagonals at the right time, and I thought in the right spot where I can dislodge this queen. Again, please keep in mind, I'm always looking at this tactic where if I play, bishop a3, it looks like he can fork me, but you can just go bishop take, and then rook takes rook. So you win in exchange. So I'm always looking at that tactic. That didn't come into play this game, but that's why I thought this could be potentially very, very strong. Anyway, that didn't happen. I didn't see bishop f1. Apparently it's not the best move, but I thought it was actually kind of nice. The reason why I didn't look at it seriously is I thought he wanted to maintain this long diagonal. My pawn chain is stuck because I think that a8 square is so important. And as soon as he moves his bishop away from it, I no longer have the same worries. So that's why I didn't think it was good. But, hey, it does defend this pawn. I now play knight g4. In my mind, I thought that he had to play rook f3. Obviously, I'm now attacking the rook. I mean, he's going to move it. But I also thought that in the right situation, I'm now going to maybe put pressure and win the e-pawn, which is why I thought he had to go to f3. What's funny is I told Ben after the game that when I was calculating here, so this is move 19, I went down from 56 minutes to 49 minutes, so I spent a solid 7 minutes before playing this move. All of my calculations were rook to f3, and of course, as always is the case, he surprised me and he plays rook e2. Now, what he said, and he's right, is he said he realized that he can disrupt the defense of this pawn with a rook because now that I moved the knight off of e5, I'm only attacking this pawn once. And he's not wrong. But, you know, again, it just kind of goes to show, I'm actually kind of curious what is the better move. That all my calculations were knight g4 and then rook, you know, and he plays the best move. Rook e2 is best. Yeah, I thought, I mean, look, they're very, very similar, but all my calculations were rook f3, and I was trying to find out what I should do here. Yeah, and the computer likes d4, and I wanted to push d4 here. Hopefully you guys can see why. Bum 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 bum. Well, the reason why is it nails the d3 pawn as a forever weakness, and I can basically, you know, well, first I put my rook in the game, and then I move my queen over, and I would just always be gunning it, and it would be a long-term target, and I basically would be able to relocate my knight back to e5, just so you guys can tell, just so you guys can see. What I would is basically like d4, and if he plays something like e4, which actually the computer says is his best move, I can literally just go knight e5 back, and look at this. I'm going to basically move my queen here once I'm ready. This is a super, super, super threat, and the computer says this is like winning for black, minus 1.5, and this is, okay, without patting myself on the back too much, that's what I was calculating. Not all of that, obviously, but like those ideas, basically being able to break with d4, the forever threat, and then basically just moving my knight back. Anyway, doesn't matter. He plays rook e2, and I like think to myself, I'm like, oh shit, does this like change things? So apparently this is the better move. Good for you, Ben. That was a nice move, and again, not one that I saw. So in my candidate moves, I'm thinking about rook fc8 because I kind of want it here. I'm thinking about rook fb8 because I thought that maybe I could just target a pawn. I'm thinking about queen a6. I'm thinking about just jiggle jangling my my knight, so I have these forks potentially. And eventually I play c5. I'm really curious because this move I starred move let's see 17 for Ben when he played e3 because I thought that was a wild move. Really, I thought it was a blunder. And I starred this move. These were my two stars of the game. His move there where I was like, it can't be right. And this move where I was really curious. And c5 is one of the best moves. Okay, cool. I'm not out of my mind. And I do, the computer does like queen a6 first, kind of putting the threat. Yeah, I wasn't sure. The expression that you call it here is, you know, spoiled for choice. I spent a couple minutes before I played c5. And I just thought it was like the natural move, taking space, taking territory, getting my rooks in. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, just so you guys can tell, I again calculated this move, rook fb8. I calculated that move. Seems decent. d4 I didn't consider here for whatever reason. I should have stuck with the d4 plan. I don't know why I didn't. Why did I not consider d4 here? Why was I spooked with his rook here but not here? I need to remember. Yeah, and they do like just going right back. Knight e5, and again, just continuing to put pressure on this d3 pawn. It's rubbish. And of course, the best move would be to just laser on down. All right, whatever. Computer does say that my move is pretty good. I'm not unhappy about it. I thought it made sense. They do give it an accuracy, but that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles. And I'm just better. I think I think the opening was a success where we took him kind of out of his prep into sort of a position I was sort of familiar with. The mid game has gone well. I've kind of leaned on him a little bit, and I said, let's continuing putting pressure. Like, let's convert this. After c5, Ben corrects the error, and this is why the e2 is probably so strong, is he's going to just drop his rook. Now his rooks are connected. For the record, now the dreams of this tactic are dead. So that does mean that a4 suddenly is a little bit more of a threat, for the record. Something I had to be cognizant of. And I think to myself, okay, like, do I gang up on this pawn? Do I gang up on this pawn? Again, spoil for choice. I didn't spend terribly long. I went to my basics. I said, okay, yes, some of these tactics are pretty strong, but let's just get my last piece into the game. Before, when his rook was on f2, I was a little bit worried at some point about him doubling up and lasering down my f7 pawn. Now that the rook is not on the f-file, I thought I could be free to kind of get my last piece involved in the game. And okay, they like my move. All right, it's not bad. It's up there as one of the best. FC8. Okay, cool. That's what I play. It is one of the best moves. Apparently, the best is e5. I play that later. I obviously saw this because you guys will see. I literally play it like the next move. I just wanted to be principled, play principled chess, get my last piece into the game, and I thought I've reached harmony. All my pieces are kind of contributing to the position. I have space. I have some threats. Ben is a bit backed up, and even though he's got the bishop pair, they ain't doing that much here. They will later. Don't get me wrong. They certainly come alive, but right now, pretty fine. Once I play rook fc8, Ben now plays b3. I think this would have been stronger when his bishop was here, so he could play this long diagonal. He's just trying to prevent like any kind of like long term where I can actually win that b pawn. It makes some sense, and I go back to e5. Now it looks like I'm bearing down on this pawn. It looks that way because I am. That was one of my plans. But the other main move, and I gotta say, Ben's a good player. He is 18. I think starting this event 18-10, something like that. But like the level one, I'm obviously threatening this fork. He's got to stop it. He can't let me jump to f3. What is the best move here? Apparently it's rook ed1, just sliding it over out of the fork, and just getting ready to kind of like on the d file. And black is quite a bit better. I felt better here, even though the material's equal. Like I was very pleased, although I was already down to 45 minutes here. Instead, sadly, I know that now Ben is laterally defending the a pawn. Ben just misses it. And actually, this was a funny moment. There's only 4 boards going because we only have 8 people at the club night tonight. And after he made the move and I made the follow-up pretty quickly, Ben was like, "Oh shit!" like really loudly or something, which was really funny because normally you're pretty quiet during games, but it was just a blunder. I'll show you what happened from that point. So rook ac1. He's trying to bear down on this pawn. It doesn't work because, by the way, the queen is leading the charge and I have the rook defending. This is something that Ben will remedy and rectify. But anyway, I waste no time. I play the next few moves immediately, of course. I actually checked for one split second just to make sure that I wasn't missing something obvious. I play knight f3 check. He plays king f2, kind of moves it on in. I actually did spend a couple minutes here. I actually did, because I briefly considered knight takes h2. For the record, I considered knight takes h2, thinking that it might be more accurate. It's not, and I after a couple minutes, I was like, all right, Rob, just take the freaking rook. It's a dream position. But I calculated here, and I thought that actually after a move like bishop e2, my knight is in jeopardy of getting trapped, actually. And so I thought that it would force me to play something like f5. And then after a move such as rook h1, and I play here, obviously if we trade everything, maybe there's some activity for Ben. I'm actually kind of curious what the computer says in this position. It's still quite good for me. The reason why is I probably can relocate to the f-file and just do a lot of damage here. In fact, Ben's best move would be to play like a4. So I actually did briefly consider this, but I just said no. A rook is a rook. This has got to be winning. Let's just go into this and convert the game. 45 minutes is plenty of time. Ben takes with the bishop. We really weren't sure what was most accurate. And then from here, I was curious. On the train, I saw the best move is to go rook a3, and it's such a good move. I wish I played that because it locks his a pawn down. It gives me such an easy plan where I can then go, queen a6, kind of continuing to put pressure, and then rook c8, ca8. You literally just win the pawn by force, and then you trade everything off where you're up the exchange, and they no longer have these connected pass pawns. So I really wish I played rook a3. I think if I find rook a3 here, I think it's a very easy win. But I didn't. And I don't think the move I played is bad, as you guys will see. But I think my technique is a little sloppy, and Ben jumps all over it. So I'm doing great. I'm feeling great. I play queen a7. Computer still likes my move. Okay, cool. It's not like it's bad. And my idea is I'm bearing down on the A pawn, 2 attackers. Obviously, a move like rook A1 is super passive. And I thought if he plays A4, he's overextending and creating weaknesses, and I can basically, excuse me, I got the hiccups, butter up the biscuit on that side of the board. I also wanted to maintain this diagonal, so I have the threat of C4. So that's why I thought that this was a fairly accurate move. I'm wrong. This was an accuracy, but that's at least what I was thinking. I did think that this was a forcing move, and I think forcing people to play forcing moves is not great unless you have like winning moves, because like the chance that they mess up is really low when there's only one move they can play. They have to play A4 here. He plays A4. And I do, let me see, did I think on this move? No, I didn't think on this move, and I kind of wish I had. I thought that all these squares are bad, because this bishop is terrible. It's kind of like a French bishop, almost, where it's hemmed in by my pawn wall. My pawn wall was good, because he's got a light square bishop. It's preventing his bishop from being great. But I thought I needed to maintain contact along the A6 to F1 diagonal. And again, this is another thing that on the train, I didn't play this one right. Apparently, I'm supposed to go to D7 with the idea of playing E5 and getting into the game that way. And now that I see it on an engine, on a computer, I'm like, doi, obviously. But I didn't see that in the game. Instead, oh wait, no, what am I talking about? I played the best move here. I played Bishop A6. Okay, phew. All right, I was beating myself up, but this is the best move. Okay, I play Bishop A6. Well, what am I talking about? Ignore that. Ben then plays Bishop G2. Kind of going back, I only have one attacker on this pawn, and now he's got the long-term threat, almost like a Catalan bishop. I don't know what the best move is, but I play this move pretty quickly. I thought I wanted to put pressure on the B3 pawn. I want to get out of any long-term tactics, so I just slide my rook over. It seems like a very straightforward move. They do like a lot rook A8. It's the best move. Okay, cool. This just made sense to me. To me, this was the most natural move in the position, so I just played it, and it is the best move. Cool. And it should be noted, black is just clearly winning. Ben now plays Queen B1. He's trying to add another defender. He's going to be opening up that way. I would love to be able to play Rook B4. It doesn't work now because he just takes it to kind of lock the pawns in place. Regretting the fact that I didn't do the same with the Rook A3 a few moves ago, because I think I would have had a very easy win if I found that move. After Queen B1, I then think I'm wiggling and I'm making such progress, and I play Queen B6. The reason why I played this, it should be obvious, is I thought I'm bearing down here. I thought the only way for Ben to defend would be C3, and again, I saw some tactics. This pawn, like this queen is behind the pawn, that if I take the pawn, let's say I, take with the queen somehow, and then he takes, my rook will take his queen. So I'll actually win material. So I thought that this is a really bad position for his queen to be in. And I thought if I just break up one of these pawns, ideally both of them, then I'm winning 100% of the time. This is Ben's lifeline. So Ben plays rook C3. He kind of does like this audible click-clack. He then told me after the game that it was a bait. And the truth is, the move that I wanted to play is Queen B4. It looks crazy because I'm self-pinning. I'm not self-pinning. I'm giving him a discovered attack, but I calculated that all the discoveries don't do shit for him. If I go here, I guess he could go to like rook C4 because then he's opening up on me. So maybe that does do something. Anyway, I played D4, which I think is a mistake, but I'm actually kind of curious now. Oh, D4 is the second best move. Okay, they like my move. It's just winning. Huh, so my move is good. For the record, I thought I saw Queen B4 here. With the idea, I hope you guys can see, that I'm just threatening the A pawn. And he doesn't have a discovery. Right, okay, that's why. Okay, doi, and if he moves forward, I just then take the pawn. Right, so that's the move I wanted to play. Thank you, okay. Oh boy, I was losing my mind for a moment. But apparently my move is great. So what the hell happened this game? All right, okay. Engine's going back on. Move 29. For the record, I'm down to 40 minutes. Ben has about 50. So Ben has a thin time advantage. He plays E takes. It's forced. I'm obviously attacking the rook. He takes here. Oh, I didn't see this. I take back. And I thought, my calculation, here real quick, the computer wants this move, which is admittedly hard to find. Because remember, this pawn is pinned, so if he like takes here, you literally can just chomp on through. And then obviously if he takes, you can't take, because then you lose the queen. So you actually bust up the pawns that way. So I didn't see all that. Same deal here. And he's just lost. So it's free, and you also have these ideas. Like if he, you know, in this spot, if I push and he takes, I can also just throw this in, and everything is winning. Shit! So I needed to see c4 not takes. Unfortunately, I thought, and I'm going to show you my calculations before we go back to the computer, I thought takes, and I thought I'm zeroing on in, but the problem is after takes, I have to spend another move moving back, and then he's able to push the pawn supported by this dark square bishop, which prior was shitty, but now is back to being good. So this is probably where I throw a lot of my advantage in the game, and this is a mistake. So rather than here, I need to play basically anything else. And also, I mean, even here, like d4 it was good, but I originally wanted to play queen b4. Apparently c4 immediately is the best move, not d4. Although they're equal. My move was good, but I just didn't follow it up correctly. Apparently right here, it's fine. Now, obviously, you guys can see why it's winning. Once again, this pawn is pinned. He can't really take. I mean, if he takes, you can take with anything. It doesn't matter. I'm assuming bishop takes is best. Nope, d takes. Bishop takes is not best. Well, what do I know? D takes. Again, he can't take. He can't take. I don't even know what white's supposed to do here. White is just cooked. I mean, even if he does something like this, I literally can just... Probably just pawn takes pawn, right? Yeah, c takes b3. And then... Boom. Boom. Boom, boom. And I guess this is just very easy to win. Is this? Yeah, it's -5. Oh, I see. That's kind of crafty. Queen a8 is really good, and you're trying to basically get into the position. Get into my belly. All right, well, let's go over the game, how things turned around for Ben. Because it may seem like I crushed Ben and won, but I am assuring you that may not be the case. So let's see where the wheels fell off the bus. The wheels on the bus. Well, probably right here. Because after I go takes, Ben then trades. And in this position, I thought I was just straight up winning. But I've given up a bit of my advantage. He plays b4. And I need to trade off the bishops. Basically, bishop b7 takes. But I don't do that. After b4... Play queen c7. Oh, it's the second best move. Okay, why am I beating myself up? It's still a very good move. Okay, phew. I play queen c4. My idea, I hope you guys can see this, is I now own the only file, and I can infiltrate. And I actually calculated what I thought was a mate. I'll show you. So in this position, after queen c7, Ben plays. I spent a few minutes on that one. Ben plays b5. And I spent 5 minutes calculating because I thought I saw the win. For the record, I bail out here. But I thought I saw queen e5. And if he takes, I can check him on e3. He only can go to f1. And I wanted to use this right triangle to mate him. You guys can see this. So I thought I have this attacking the queen. The problem is in this position, I actually saw he could sacrifice the queen. Queen takes, and then just push the pawn, and he's actually winning. He's going to queen here. Yeah, it's just +4. So when I saw this, I got very sad because I thought that, you know, sacrificing the bishop, I could actually win that way, but it, you know, doesn't work. So after he plays b5, and it looks like, I mean, what's crazy is I had like a -5 position. It was totally 1, and now it's a -2 position if I played correctly. And I bail out. And apparently I bail out to an endgame that I thought was winning. Again, conceptually, after what you see with forcing moves, I thought my rooks were behind. My rook was behind the pawns, and his bishops were kind of stuck to an extent. And I have the light square still controlling like the queening, but that's not the case. What I need to play here is bishop b7. And the reason why, and you guys can certainly tell this, is the trade of bishops is forced. And then from here, it's just a matter of technique, you know, ganging up on the light square, getting my king in. So for example, if you play something like bishop d2, what do I do? Rook b8. Okay. I guess you're just like stopping him from ever pushing the pawn or so. I don't know. All right, well, it's tough. I bail out to what I thought was a winning endgame. Takes. He only has one move. King g1. Look at that. I've thrown away the game. This is crazy. Oh boy. Oh brother. I still thought I was winning here. And what's funny is Ben around this time thought that he might be winning. So we both were under the impression that we might be winning. He plays king f1. And yeah, and now I actually, once he plays king f1, obviously I move my bishop. Only move. I don't want to lose it for free. I played a c8, pretty doy. He moved, and now he moves a5, and he starts rolling his pawns. And damn it, I do have a winning move in this position. I play the second best move where I'm still better, but I play rook a2. All right, to my credit, I am down to 34 minutes when this move started. I spend 12 minutes in this position. Like I got down lower on clock because I was like, holy shit, I need to find the right move here. As I mentioned, I play rook a2, thinking I'm still a little bit better, and I'm like slowing down the pawns. I can show you my calculations. Basically, I thought if I go here and he pushes here, I can blockade with my bishop on a6. If he tries to push again, I just move back to b2. I control the square. And I thought if I move to a2, obviously his dark square bishop is controlling that. But if he ever pushes forward, minimum, I can sacrifice the bishop, and then pawn takes, rook takes. And I thought I was slightly better in that endgame, but honestly I didn't know. But I thought I had zero chance of losing with these past pawns dealt with. And I thought if I played rook here and he doesn't start pushing them, which he doesn't immediately, I thought maybe I have the time to get my king in. And if I could form a king blockade, again, I thought maybe I'm winning. And you'll see kind of what happens with that. Apparently, by the way, the winning move is bishop d7. And the reason why, I guess, is why. He plays b6. He pushes. Go b5. Bishop e4, apparently. Bishop e4 locks down that pawn. But what if he checks, or excuse me, if he pushes on me, blunders, apparently it's bishop check, g1. Oh, and then I'm in time to get behind the pawn, b2. And if he plays... And he can never play a6, my bishop covers. Oh boy, that's hard to find. I'm not gonna lie. Have not had many endgames like this, and that is tricky. And then in this position, if he, rather than pushing, so let's say he locks down the pawn, I go back to rook b2, and apparently here, for me to win, I then play e5. Oh, now I'm able to get the blockade that I needed the whole time, which is the position I wanted. Because now the bishop is preventing the a pawn from running any further because it's a blockade, and I'm protecting the b7 square with my rook, so he can never make progress. So now I have all the time in the world to just march in. It's worth noting he doesn't have these checks or keeping my king boxed in because my rook actually controls it, and that's the winning move. I didn't see that. I played the second best move, where I still thought I was fine, but like I thought this was wild. And I'm lower on time. After rook a2, I'm calculating everything. And I thought that he actually should just push a6. a6 is his best move. He doesn't do that though. I thought maybe Ben was inaccurate or so. He plays g4, which is also a very good move. It's one I didn't fully understand. And the reason why, by the way, and I didn't get this is basically if he plays a6, he thought that I have a perpetual. I thought if a6, I was going to just sacrifice. I thought I have to sacrifice here. I thought I have to go bishop takes on a6. Yeah. Okay. The computer agrees. I thought I have to go bishop takes. He'd go b takes. I would go rook takes. And I was prepared to play this endgame. I mean, we have been in the endgame. But, like, I was prepared to play this. And I had no idea if I'm better or worse. Again, the computer says that this is minus 0.3. It's basically a draw. But I was prepared to go into this, realizing I messed this game up, but this has been kind of complicated and challenging. But he plays g4. Now, the computer gives us excellent. Again, the computer still says I'm a little better. Ben and I, when we went over this briefly, I mean, well, we went over for a long time. It's just we were the last game to finish. I mean, there were only 4 games going on. This is just a super tricky one. Yeah, I thought that this let me walk my king in. But really, he's trying to get his bishop to g3 to control the b8 square, which is really smart, actually. I need to play. No, okay, I play the best. Oh, they like king h7. What? I guess their idea is just to say I can sack at any point. I want to make an active king on the king side. I thought I needed to run my king over to blockade to the queen side. Wow. So I played a bad move, possibly. It's just zeros now. He can go bishop b4. And I thought I was going to just walk on in to e8. And apparently it's just equals. Just a draw. Okay. Well, that is good to know. That is most certainly good to know. Anyway, after king f8, he plays... What move did he play? Okay. After I play here... again, apparently the check is the best move. Ben kind of sighs, and he plays the other good move. I mean, it makes sense. It forces me to sacrifice. He plays a6, thinking that he doesn't have anything here, and I'm gonna have to sacrifice. Obviously, I sacrifice, right? Like I obviously go bishop takes on a6, but I don't. I still thought I could win this position, and I suddenly got very excited. Okay. I was calculating in this spot, so move 38, I'm down to 20 minutes. I get down to, I use 3 minutes on this move, and I calculate what I think is okay. I play, the computer still has the second best move. I play king e8. And my thinking is, I thought I could get it on over, basically go here. He doesn't have this check, it's worth pointing out, because my rook takes away. And he doesn't have this check on h4 because I thought I could play g5, stopping the checks for me to proceed. Right? And I was like, okay, my king's going to get in, I can blockade, and maybe I'm still winning. And I still held on hopes of winning this game here. It was a nail-biter, to put it lightly. A freaking nail-biter. Instead, he plays the best move. Ben is playing quite well. And this is a move I did not see. And I congratulated Ben for this move after the game because I thought if he doesn't find this, and according to the computer, a lot of other moves are fine, but I thought that this was the move that completely saved him. And once he played this, for the record, I thought there was no hope of me winning. So Ben, just for the record, at the board at this point, I thought I was better, and I thought maybe I'd still win. But when you found this move, I'm so impressed and proud of it. Good for you. I realized you shut everything down. I know I complimented Ben on this one. Multiple times, towards the end. It's a shame when we, because it got very late, we weren't able to get this far in our review, because I thought this was kind of like the move of the game for him. And the reason why is obviously I can't take, because then he just queens. I can't move it away, because then he's going to queen, and I'm gonna have to sack a rook. So I saw the only move is to move my king over. So I move king d8, obviously. And then as soon as I do, I'm hoping that he makes a mistake, but he now slams bishop d3. What? No, he doesn't. Bishop d3? What move are we on? 40. Well, this is d3, so that's not possible. This is g. That's a g, because I know he plays here. Okay, he plays the best move. Yeah, bishop g3. That's a g. And as soon as he plays this, I sigh, and I'm like, man, look at Ben's accuracy in the endgame. He was pinpoint. He was crushing it. because now he's cut my king off. Like you guys can see, I can't actually get over there. Obviously, he can't push. I can just take. And obviously, if he ever takes, I just take back. Like, that's great. But I am completely stuck. His king is cut off. This looks, completely like I can no longer win this game. I've kind of pissed it away. So I'm impressed with him. I play apparently f6 here is the best move. I mean, a lot of zeros. Maybe I play a bad move. Ooh, I play rook a2. Is that a bad move? Oh, I'm on a2. Move 40. Oh, I play rook b2. Is that a bad move? Apparently, Ben has some pull here. Maybe, because this is an accuracy. I just thought he could never push, because then I just take. So I thought that this was fine. Obviously, if he pushes, I take. And then if he tries to push, I then use my king into the b7 square, and I'm guarding the queen square. So I thought here I'm putting pressure on the pawn always. Anyway, Ben's going to get a better position than if I just, sack the bishop right away. And that's why I was a little bit worried. And obviously, I got too greedy. Because once I play rook a2, he plays bishop e5. Which I think is a good move. Apparently, bishop e4 is stronger. But bishop e5, he's now attacking... Oh my god. No. Oh, okay, no, he doesn't actually do this. Excuse me. He does play the best move. Sorry, I jumped on my book. It's late. This has been a long review. Well, an hour long. It's like kind of typical for me. He plays, after rook b2, he plays bishop c6. Yeah, it is the best move. Okay, right. He plays bishop c6 first. Now I play rook a2. It's the best move. It's the only move. And now he plays bishop e5, which is also the best move. Okay, now he plays bishop e5. Okay. Whew! I was like, holy shit, did I blow this one? No, I didn't. So these are all the right moves. All right. With that in mind, after that goes into effect, bishop e5, I play f6. Apparently I should apparently I should just sacrifice here, and it's just a draw. Bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes. He's gonna get one of these pawns. Instead, I play f6. He takes on d4, and finally I say, all right, I'm not winning anymore. I go king c7 with the idea if he ever moves this off, maybe I can blockade. He plays bishop f3, which is the best move again. I play, and now I say, okay, I have no other move. I have to sack. And I sack, and once I sack, he takes, I go rook takes. I don't think I'm winning. He offers me a draw here. Ben is down to 13 minutes. I'm down to 10. I tell him, I said, Ben, you're supposed to make your move and then offer the draw, so I'm thinking on my time. He's like, oh, okay, sure. So he moved, so in this spot, when I take the last move of the game is he plays bishop e2, which makes sense. He's super, super solid. Computer gives this, like, a quality. I spend a couple, actually not even a couple minutes, that's lying. I spent more than 1 minute looking at this position, really trying to see if I had anything, and then thinking, the computer gives it zeros. He offers me the draw here, and I think that if there's anyone that can screw this up, maybe it would be me. And like, I was winning. I played better than Ben in the middle game. I was pretty happy with myself. Obviously, I threw away the win. Ben was really resourceful, really strong endgame player. And I was inaccurate, and he punished me. I almost fucked it up completely where, maybe, could have maybe even lost this. Maybe. I always felt like I was drawing with, like, sacrificing the bishop. But at the end of the day, Ben is, like, a little bit more than 100 points stronger than me. My rating, I just fell from 1,700. I think Ben's just over 1,800. So a little bit more than 100 points than me. A draw is a good result as black. Yes, I should have won, but at the end of the day, we shook hands. We had a wild ride. This is definitely one of my more complicated games in a long time. And frankly, I played better today than I did on Tuesday, where I played horribly. I want to just play good chess. I looked at the accuracy. Obviously, I messed this up over here, so this is not going to be accurate. But I looked up on the train, or the tee. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Apparently, we played like an 85% accuracy game. So this is going to be wrong because this doesn't include the last little bit because, my browser, blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, so we played pretty well. Okay, it says that, but that's because the blunder's clued. I'm telling you guys, it was an 85% accuracy game, which is pretty good. A lot to look at, a lot to work on. But overall, a draw is a very fine and fair result given the ending. It was definitely a complicated one. There was some tactics, there was positional play, there was endgame play. I mean, this game had it all. And as far as club games go, that's pretty cool. Given I'm going to play club games every other week, and we only had 8 people show up tonight, I'm assuming Ben and I are going to play quite a bit more in the future, which is cool. Obviously, I prefer playing people I haven't played before, but the thing is, I hadn't played Ben before, so this is like perfect for that. I'm going to enter this game on my own, so I have it in my notes and whatnot. Thanks for watching. This really was a wild ride. Really resourceful. Those past pawns, I needed to find. I think if I play the rook, a3, then I actually have a much easier game of it. All right. Hope you all enjoyed it. My next game will be Tuesday. Again, my plan is that I'm going to be playing the Tuesday night Swiss. I'm going to be playing club night every other week. So for the rest of this month, I should play 4 more games roughly, and then in May I'll play like another 6 or 7. Okay. Have a good one.